Welcome to Angela's Busy Bees Garden and Homestead. And I'm in the loft area of my home where I have a lot of my houseplants. And I will be dividing this peace lily so that I can create another plant. And as you can see here, I have allowed the soil to dry out really dry so that I can divide the plant to create additional plants. And as you can see here, this right here is a whole nother plant by itself. This one here is also a plant by itself. There's several others in here as well. If you look towards the back, this one here could actually be another plant. And what I was noticing is that it was overcrowded. And so that is why I want to see if I can separate some of these to give it a little bit more room so that it can grow properly. And so there was one right here that I have already removed, as you can see here. Let me see how I can do this with one hand. This one here was just one part of the root, and so I have removed it, and I'm going to leave the remainder there. And I've purchased this basket from Lowe's, and it's a basket of an owl, and I thought that would be beautiful with the peace lily. And so I have placed a pot inside, and there's a way down there that it can hold its own water. So I didn't need to, there's a watering tray beneath it, so I didn't need to drill holes into this pot. So what I'm going to do is simply take some potting soil here from this bag, and I'm going to cover the roots here of the peace lily, and hopefully I have enough soil. And one thing about the peace lily that I really appreciate about this plant is when it needs water, it will let you know, because the leaves will droop over. So it's not a plant that you can overwater or destroy from overwatering. And as you can see, I'm going to need a little more soil so that it'll stand up firmly in the pot. And I have this bag of soil under a lid for a storage container that I have to try to catch any soil that I might drop onto the floor, to reduce the amount of cleanup. And so what I'm going to do is simply, well, I need to add a little bit more. So now I'm going to try to pack it really tight so that once I water the plant, it should stand up on its own once it's watered. And as you can see here, one thing about the peace lily is that it produces these little sticks here. And these usually, if you pull on it, can come right out. But if it causes any resistance, then it's not ready to be pulled from the plant. But they come off relatively easy. And so now that I have this repotted, I'm simply going to water it. And when your plant has been dry for a long time, you usually can even hear the plant drinking the water. But with this one over here, this is the mother plant. What I'm going to do is add a little more soil to give it a little more nutrients because I don't think I've fertilized this particular plant in a while, so I'll give it a little more of this potting soil. And I'm going to water this one as well. And this particular pot has a water catchment that's on it at the bottom, as you can see here. And while I'm on the subject of houseplants, a lot of times you'll go to Lowe's or Home Depot and you'll see the orchids and they'll be looking like this where there's no flowers on it. And they're usually marked on clearance when they look like this. But if you go on and purchase them anyway and continue to water, I give it about a half a cup of water once a week. And all of a sudden you'll begin to see this. New sprouts will develop, and this is where the new flowers will come. And of course, when it flowers, the flowers will last for about 3 weeks. And then once they fade off, it usually takes about another month to 6 weeks before you'll see new flowers. And the only reason why Lowe's or Home Depot will place them on clearance is that when they first get the orchids in the store, of course they have the flowers on it, but once the flowers have died off, they can't sell it for full price. But it's a great investment if you were to go on and purchase the orchid because it continues to bloom, but it may take 4 to 6 weeks for you to see a new shoot. And if you would look at these roots here, they also have air roots, and so you can see there's some brown, but the green are the ones that are really alive and well. But it's time for me to repot because it's been in this pot for several years. But because it's starting to bloom, I don't want to disturb it as of yet. But once the flowers have fallen off, that is a good time to repot your orchids. So just wanted to share with you that I've been spending time in the house with the house plants, trying to divide or propagate new plants as best I can, and just wanted to share that with you. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe, and also share this video with your friends. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a blessed and wonderful holiday season. God bless. Bye-bye.